My name is Leon Levy. I'm an associate real estate broker with Berkshire Hathaway. 23 years in real estate. No regrets whatsoever. I chose the right brokerage. I chose the right profession.
You've had brain surgery, and that was due to having Parkinson's disease. Leon, you are an award-winning, top-producing agent within Berkshire Hathaway and the Capital Region of New York. But first, I really want to talk about bringing it way back, 1962.
Oh, it's way back, all right.
In Israel, where you were born.
Well, first we have to go back to 1947 when they left Egypt. They were both born in Egypt. And with the rise of anti-Semitism around the Arab world, what happened was all Jews were forced to leave those Arab lands and to come to Israel. So my dad and my mom, they were telling me that their brothers and sisters would crawl on the tarmac as the Arabs were shooting at them. So my father wanted no part of that for his kids because he saw that Israel was going to be under a constant threat of war for years to come. So he just wanted to leave. So he applied to 3 countries, Australia, Canada, and the United States. I always wanted to come to America, years later. He always wanted to come to America. Canada was closer to America, so we settled in Montreal in 1964, and then I moved here in 2000. So.
Okay, and kind of talking about your time in Canada, as an adult, how did you start your professional career? Because it wasn't in real estate.
It was in hotel and restaurant management. I got my degree in hospitality administration in 1986, I want to say. And I started working in hotels along the airport strip in Toronto. I did that for several years. And I realized that there's got to be more to it than this. So I started buying and selling restaurants. Now, the restaurant industry is very tough. That's where I lost my hair. The restaurant business, it's very tough. So I started buying and selling restaurants in distress, building them up, reselling them. And I did it for like 3 or 4 restaurants. And the stakes kept getting higher and higher. So in 1993, I met my wife in Mexico. I got her to move to Canada, so we got married in 1994. 6 years later, she said, "Leon, I'm getting homesick. I want to move back to America." And I said, "But where? It's such a big place." She goes, "Well, you pick." So I looked at a map. I have family in Montreal, Toronto. She has family in New York City and Albany, smack dab in the middle. That's how we settled in Albany.
Nice.
And I love this area because it's got everything you want in a big city without the congestion and the traffic and all that. Because I hate I cannot stand traffic. So it's got all that. It's got everything you want.
Yep. Yeah. Very convenient location for sure. Mm-hmm. Now, getting into real estate, you were entering your real estate career when I was entering high school. Actually, getting into high school. So, can you kind of paint that picture of what that looked like coming into, a state that you really didn't know many people or anyone,
a country
that you didn't know anyone, yeah. What did that look like for you? What was the first thing that you did to kind of establish yourself?
That was really difficult because I didn't know anybody, and your real estate is based on the amount of people in your circle of influence, how many people you know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know my neighbors. I didn't know anybody. So I remember I was on a soccer field, and my son came up to me and he said, "Dad, how come you don't come to all my games?" And I told him, well, Jared, I work weekends. He goes, well, Dad, can you find another job? So I said, sure. So that's when I got into real estate. I answered an ad. I met with Joe Sullivan, great guy, super guy.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, exactly. And then I met with Charlie Kohlhammer, and I said, look, I don't know anything about this real estate gig. Tell me what I need to do, and I'll do it. Blind faith. I'll be your sponge. Just tell me whatever you want me to do. And he said, well, Leon, I want you to join Kiwanis. So I did that. Everything, and he said, I want you to wear a name tag. So I wore a name tag. I got 8 listings as a result of the name tag over a period of 6 months. And through Kiwanis, even today, through Kiwanis 23 years ago, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars probably in commissions just from that organization. So,
and that's really just being there and being able to, be of service to your community, and through that you were able to maintain and build those relationships with people.
exactly, it's very important. We're in the relationship building business, and it's very important to remember that.
Yeah, certainly. And for people that are interested in getting into this business, getting their license, you kind of just having that blind faith in Charlie, shout out to Charlie, what would you suggest someone do if they don't have a Charlie because he retired, or they don't have, someone like you in their office? What would you recommend that they start with?
Well, I think you have to know your numbers. You have to know what you're talking about. And I remember Joe Sullivan telling me a long time ago, there's two essential ingredients to being successful in this business. Number one, people have to like you, and number two, you have to come across as being competent in what you're talking about. And
That's good, being an expert.
Yeah. And when I go on appointments, I would scour the room, the house, look for any common ground so I could draw a connection to it. That's very important. And believe it or not, I used to focus on remembering their pets' names, because their kids nobody cares about. I mean, they don't care. But if you remember the guy's dog's name, he'll love you forever.
We have some special guests with us today. These are your companions. I think that's
Pete's over here.
Pete right there, and Milo's taking a nap.
Milo's crashing out back there.
Do you ever take them on appointments with you? How involved are they in the real estate business?
I have. As a matter of fact, they're going on a photo shoot with me after we're done here.
Nice.
So we're taking pictures of my new listing in Albany.
Okay.
And so the owner is going to hold my two dogs while I go to work, so that'll be interesting. But I have taken them on appointments before, showings, that sort of thing.
Love that. You know that I have a special connection with animals, of course. I have two of my own cats, but I love to watch other people's dogs and cats as well. So love that you brought them today.
Sure.
Now, I want to kind of fast forward a little bit in terms of the timeline, and you've really been receiving accolades and awards since you started, since your first year in real estate, really, and that has not stopped. Let's talk about that a little bit in terms of the 07, 08 time period. I know 2009 you received the distinguished honor for most properties sold in 2009. So how did you do that coming off of a recession?
I just maintain my contacts. It's very important when the market is going south, when interest rates are rising, you have to ratchet up. You don't work less, you actually work more. Mm-hmm. Develop those contacts, develop those relationships, keep open lines of communication. And then when dust settles and the market says, okay, we're ready, bang, you're the first person they remember.
Nice. And I have to say, even to this day, anytime that I'm in the office, whether it's a weekend or a weekday, early morning, you're here. So that also speaks to just the level of commitment you have to this profession. So you've had brain surgery. And that was due to having Parkinson's disease. At what age was that diagnosed? And can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, let's step back to 2011, where I suffered a stroke. And that was pretty debilitating. I've recovered pretty much 100% from that. But I remember being in the ambulance and being rushed to Albany Med, the hospital. And I remember the paramedic looking over me, taking my vitals and all that, and I looked at her and I asked her, I said, "What's your story?" So what's your story? And she looked at me, rolled her eyes because she thought I was trying to pick her up.
Well, you might have been doing that too, but
no. Well, no. So, and she asked me what, and she asked me. No, I asked her, "What's your story?" And she said, well, I have a boyfriend, and I said, well, I'm not going there. What I'm asking you is, do you rent or do you own? So, if you're going to go down, you might as well go down fighting. So, I had my stroke in 2011, and the following year I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. So it was a 1-2 combination. But I've managed to live with it and cope with it, and all my clients know, and they're very supportive, so I appreciate that. But it's been a long journey. The brain surgery was done at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. It was long, and I was awake for it.
Wow.
Because they drill your skull, and they give you commands while they're doing their stuff.
Wow.
And you have to know, they tell you, lift your left leg, lift your right leg. So your brain does not have pain receptors. So you have to know, listen, and the doctor tells you, Leon, look, you're going to be semi-awake for the surgery. So it was very tough to get through. And I had some infection. I begin to stutter when I'm nervous, like now. And I walk with a limp. Other than that, the surgery was very successful.
Yeah, I mean, without personally knowing you and knowing that you had the surgery, to anyone else, you really didn't skip a beat in terms of the level of work and production that you've done. I mean, just this year, over 30 contracts already. Right now, I believe that you have a land listing for $30,000 right in the city of Troy, and then you have listings, over $700,000. So you really have quite a range there. Where do you get your clients and that circle of influence that you have? What is your primary focus? I know you talked about Kiwanis. Is there any other organizations that you're involved in, or what is your primary focus?
I was thinking about that not long ago, like where do I get my business from? And really what it comes down to is you may have 100 people who are your base A clients. And if you keep in touch with them, and if you correspond, and if you remember their birthdays, and if you remember their pets' animals, and if you remember where they came from, and you remember where they live, and their kids' names and all that, and you recognize those things, which I do. I call every one of them on their birthday to wish them happy birthday. And if you do all that stuff, you can reach out to literally thousands of people. So you only have to have maybe 300-400 people in your database who are going to refer you to thousands of others. So that's what it comes down to, just keeping in touch, keeping in contact, keeping communication. And
it's all in the detail of actually caring about those people and those details and their birthday, and
Exactly. I'm at a place right now where if you were saying let's go get a listing, I get a listing
awesome.
right now. In 10 minutes, I'll have a listing for you.
We're gonna do that as a challenge for the next episode, okay? Live.
This is not rocket science, though. I mean, this is the world's best kept secret is real estate. You just have to be attentive, listen, know what you're talking about, develop a rapport and relationship, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I agree. Just kind of jumping back to Parkinson's, just kind of wanted to bring a little bit more awareness because before meeting you, the only known person was Michael J. Fox that I knew that had Parkinson's.
I'm Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I just found that out though, actually. So, according to the Parkinson's Foundation, 1 million Americans have Parkinson's diagnosis, and men are at a greater risk.
Well, there are medications that you can take. The gold standard is a drug called carbidopa-levodopa. In my case, I experienced rigidity and slowness of movement. My lips get very tight and I can't talk. The reason why you can understand me now is because I'm on medication that I just took half hour ago. It works very quickly, but it causes you to crash too when it wears off.
Yep.
So my whole day is based on a schedule. All my appointments, everything is based on it. So I spend a lot of time just planning out my day based on my appointments and planning out my drug intake. Now, in addition to that, I have another drug that I take called Ojentix, which is very, very good drug. And I also have a patch that I wear on my shoulder. The patch you have to watch. The patch is called Nupro.
Okay.
It's a great drug, but unfortunately it has 3 side effects. It causes addiction to sex, gambling, and shopping. Now it caused me to have a small addiction to gambling, and the other 2, no, thank God. But I have to watch. I'm gonna have to keep it under control, and I'm okay. But you have to be very careful because you can. I remember one time I was at a casino. 6 hours had gone by. It seemed to me like only 20 minutes had gone by. So, but it's under control, thank God. But it can rear its ugly head if you're not diligent and careful.
Not to make light of that, but if anyone sees Leon at Rivers, check him. Make sure that he's on the up.
Exactly.
So for people that are looking to, think about selling, what would you tell them?
Well, selling is you're in the driver's seat now. If you're selling, if you wait, things may change a little bit. Maybe not. But overall, I think the market is strong. It's resilient. There's buyers out there. You're going to do okay. Just keep your homes, not a lot of deferred maintenance.
Yeah.
Just keep your homes ready to go. And I think that you'll be fine.
Very good. I agree with everything that you said. So is there anything that you want to talk about, or any advice that you want to give agents in the business, whether they're seasoned or newer or interested in getting into this?
I looked at my business, where it comes from, and how I can improve on it. Facebook is a terrific opportunity for that. It's amazing to me. I posted one thing on Facebook, and you see who likes your post, and it's incredible how many people. You have no idea that they know each other, but they do. And so I called one of my clients and I said, "You know so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so." And she goes, "Yeah, how do you know?" "Because I saw you on Facebook." It's incredible. So
it's a great connector.
Albany is very good for that, because we don't have a large transient population here. People basically stay here for a while. So I used to live in Toronto, where it's very transient. My brother sells real estate in Canada. My sister sells real estate, and they're basically dealing with a transient population. We don't really have that here. So just keep in touch with your people. Recognize their special occasions. Don't make real estate their focus. Make it your focus, but not theirs. Well, I just reached 1,000 closed units 2 years ago, and my goal was always 1,000. And I said I would retire after that, but
You can't retire.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not going anywhere.
No.
I love what I do. Warren Buffett, our founding father, said, "If you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life." And I don't consider this work. I'm having fun and I'm getting paid for it. So it's
Love
the best.
that.
It's the best of both worlds.